Yep, it's right. It's the nice thing about filming your work. If you got a question about something, you just go back and look at it real quick. Love it. The videos are good for me too. One more up here in this tighter spot right here, underneath the exhaust manifold. All right, so those are in. Now we got our two longer ones, which go here. I'll get both of those in. So that's mounted to that outer rear ring housing. And then this is the motor housing. So there's that. So we just got our power that's got to come in, our signal wire that's got to go back to the receiver, and we got our power switch right here. And we got to figure out and decide what we're going to do with that. So let's get the truck back on the bench. Boom, truck's on the bench. All right. Now let's get this dude. I don't know if we want to mount it yet. We're going to test mount it though. So, shaft in. Boom. I'll get my hands wiped. I'll show you our clearances. All right, so here we are. Let's see, it's gonna mount right there. And look at that, we still got clearance. We're clearing the cab, and that's with some wire in the way. Remove this and this. All right, let me get it back here so you can see that again. So, I mean, look at that. I'm clearing my wires. I'm just touching them that are going into the cab for my lighting and stuff. So that's perfect. Nice. And what I might do with this short switch is, I think I'm just gonna attach it right in here where my other switch for my lighting is at. That's to control my strobe. So once I get the lighting turned on, I have to switch the strobe light to the type of strobe that I want. So I might just put my power switch right back here. Nice, easy access, and I can just, power it on right there. Super easy. But what I'm gonna do, we're just gonna leave this connector on here, I think. As long as it will not interfere, we can get it clear back into this area right here, which will clear all of our drivetrain stuff. So that's a good place to have a connector. So I'll probably put my power connector right here to power it on, because it's in here right now running from the back end. So we plug in our battery on the back end here. It runs all through here and runs into this box. So we'll open this box up, and then we'll put our power where we need it. We'll make sure our wires are big enough too. That's the other thing. I want to make sure I got large enough gauge wire for that. And then we might have to do an extension for our ESC, because we still got to power our receiver, and that's where that power is going to come from. So we'll bring that back here. So I'll need to put a little extension or a long extension on that. Anyway, that's what we got to do. Well, let's get to work. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with mounting the motor here. We want to we'll take this piece, our front mount, go ahead and loosen these up. In fact, we'll take one out. Okay. You don't want to crank those down too tight. It's already pretty snug right there. And we'll take the wiring underneath. So we'll just route it where it's underneath the mount. Hold that wiring in place. Get our shaft in place. And we can route them underneath this cross beam. Later here. Okay. So slide that mount back. We'll loosen that up just a little bit more. Perfect. Take our short, we'll take our two longer ones, put them in the front. I got two gap screws that are just a little bit shorter. So it's got the front. Let's get these holes, make sure we're lined up back here. Get the wires up over here. Once we got these two back here mounted, we'll tighten the belly band just a little bit, not too much. We don't want to put any pressure. on that casing, on the windings. So I'll show you where we're at now. Alright, so we're going to just tighten these up just a little bit. It's right here. Okay. Alright, that should probably be good. Okay, now our switch, we still got to decide exactly where we're going to put it. I was going to put it back here to where it's hidden, but I'm not sure with this mounted. So let's get all of our other stuff on here real quick. Let's see, these we know are going back, so let's bring those underneath our tubing. Get our air cleaner mounted to the turbo. Okay, we'll leave those just sitting there for right now. And we can test fit this piece here, our cover, engine cover. Switch up to the front. My engine cover might need to be trimmed. Because though I do have the clearance with the cab, I don't think I got clearance with my engine cover, because that's got to come back to here. So I'll show you what I'm running into for clearance on that. I might need a light. All right. So we'll hold a light right here. Hopefully that'll stay. So there's the motor. So right, let's see, find my holes. So about right there is where the holes are at. So you can see that the motor is sticking out past that a little bit. So we're gonna have to modify our cover just a little bit to make that work. Now for me, this is definitely worth the modification. So you don't see this part of it anyway. So let's start by taking those out. I don't think those are 2. I think those are 1.5. Yep. Yeah, I can leave. I'll probably leave these here. And this is all plastic, so. I don't need that flashlight anymore. That out. And yeah, let's go ahead and take these out too while we do the cutting here. All I gotta do is just trim a bit out of here. And generous with it because I don't want to do this too many times. We'll take it here. And over here. Clean up our cuts just a little bit here. The test bit. And we'll kind of bow that metal flange out a little bit. Okay. So we'll just test bit around. Let's get my wires pushed back here. Take a look. I can't tell that that bottom brace is not on there. Zoomed. So, you know, looking at it from the side. Oh, there's my leaf. See, no worries about that detail. That's all hidden. You'll never even know without watching this video. Even from the back, grate's still there. Just it'll be pushed out a little bit. I'm not even going to put those other two screws back in. I was going to, but I don't think so. All right, so that will work. I think I'm gonna put the switch over here. So I won't be able to get my fat fingers. I can reach this one, but I don't think I'd be able to get to that button if I put it in there, at least not easily enough. So we're gonna just mount it over here. I was gonna mount it right in there. And I think that'll look just fine. This truck is so busy, it'll probably not stick out at all. So, that's on. Then that wire's all out of the way. I can mount that. Just double checking here. I don't even want to put my first zip tie until over here. So I think I can put the screws in here. Yep, let's get those put in. So I have 3 screws left over. I might need a magnetized driver for this. Or yeah, I want a magnetized driver for this. Yeah, it's all right. I'm like, I didn't put my exhaust on, but I think, yeah, I still got room to get that in there, get that put on without any problems. I could probably put that on now too. Okay, so let's put that in. I don't think that'll be in the way. The other one going. Then we'll tighten them up. Okay. Exhaust's on. Now let's turn our truck around. We're going to be doing a lot of our work over here on this side. Oh yeah, it just looks like another little toolbox or something right there. I like it. In fact, I got some. Might even have come with some. Look and see what we get for. Oh, look at this. Oh, in the box. All right, before we stick it in though, we're gonna test everything out in case we gotta pull it up out of here for some reason. So we'll wait to stick it down. That'll be one of the last things you do. All right, let's open up our gas tank. Okay. All right, there's our receiver. Here's our power. All right, to the motor is 14 gauge wire. This might be 16 gauge wire. It is 16. I'd like to, especially for the longer length of this, I would like to do 14 gauge wire. So we might be rewiring the whole shebang. Okay, so let's see how we are wired here. Let's disconnect our power. Those might be our motor wires. That could be our power. All right, we're strapped in right there. Let's cut that strap off. Make sure you guys can see, yeah. All right, pull our ESC out. Okay. We got all kinds of stuff here connected. So that must be our power coming in right there. going out there. Power going out there. Our ESC is on channel 2. That's our signal, channel 2. And we got, there's our switch. We are going to take our switch out of here. So I think that's a 2. Alright, so there's 2 more screws that we're not going to be using. Put those with those 3. Slide our power switch out. This is a good ESC, so I want to preserve it as much as I can here. So I'm just trying to decide if I want to clip the wire short here and just keep the 16 gauge, and then put the connector on these wires and run them out if I got room. I just don't think I got any room. So they're powering the receiver also with 7.4 volts. Input is 6 volt to 12.6 volts. Oh, good, good. Check this out. So we're still safe. Let me zoom in on that. So on here, you can still use 2 to 3S LiPo power on this. So even if I decide to go 3S for the extra boost that will give the motor, the receiver can take it. So we can still power it by means of our line voltage. Okay, which is great when we use our jumper from here to there. We'll just eliminate the power. We'll leave the negative and the signal. We'll just eliminate the power because we don't need to power our receiver. Our receiver's powered through our primary power source. Okay, so I think we got these right here. That was our power. Let's pull these guys out. Just nice and whoop. Okay. And same here. Whoop. Okay, so that was the power going to the motor. So I can just use these guys. There's a lot of connectors to go through. So what I might actually do, because I don't want to go through a connector, how many solder joints. I'd rather just have the one. Okay. Now let's try and fish this through here. All right, I just need to fish this under here. So get that tucked down. Tip the truck on its side. And we'll just fish it up underneath that. Cross member. Follow the rest of the wiring up through and pull all of it through. We'll connect this after we, so what we'll do, so we can reconnect it later, right? So usually this stuff's all labeled too. As far as you got your signal, power, negative. And so what we want to do is, this will supply BEC voltage, which is a battery elimination circuitry. And all we want to do is just clip that so we can reconnect that power later. But we don't want to supply power because we're going to be supplying power already through this means on this receiver. So we'll just fold that back and we'll throw some tape on there. Because I'm actually powering two receivers here. Oh yeah, that is close. I think it's gonna work though. Okay. Well, let's scooch this guy back a bit. Get an IC3 battery connector. Oh, that's gonna be tough to get through there. I should have wired. Put it through first. Well, I'm gonna commit to this. Snap that in place. should have put those wires up through there first. All I need to do is just trim that just a little bit. Got a little overhang of plastic that you cannot even see. So loose, come on. Just go. Can't even tell what's holding it up right there. Give that a try. Yeah, I'll get it. I'll get it. Come on. Right. Okay. Now we'll drop that down. Let's move our soldering station out of the way. Get it on its side right here. Let's see. Yeah. I'm going to try and tip this a little bit more. We can get that wire, that plug down here. This plug in here. You might be able to marry the two right here. This is like no extra room. Come on. All right, she's connected. Looks like that'll be out of the way. Although there's less stuff for it to interfere with because we've got the suspension underneath here, if you can see that. That could interfere. You know, it presses up and touches up there. Up here, there's not any of that. So let me try unplugging it here and reroute that. Let's go back to the top side. If I do it right here, I mean, one, there's more room, so I can maneuver this in here a little bit. And that'll just go right up in there. I'll tie that down. I like that better. I like that a lot better. All right. So before we button stuff up, I think we want to fire it up and see if everything works first, and then we can button everything up. Put a couple straps in there too. I think all we got left to do is power it on. So let me go get my radio, get a battery, and test it out. All right, so power our radio on. Plug our power in. That's a mess. Don't do that. Low speed. So our sound is backwards, but let's see. I wonder if I can reverse a rotation here. Can't read that one. All right, right, look at this motor rotation. Programming options 5. All right, guys, so the good news is it works. The bad news is, with my sound box anyway, it's reversed because I have to reverse the switch to get it to run in the right direction. Now, normally on a brushless motor, to get it to change direction, all you'd have to do is change 2 wires. Not the case with this one. Because of it being built-in ESC and everything, you can't just switch 2 of the 3 wires and reverse your motor. Instead, I've got to get a programming box to change the direction. So right now we're going to be running with the sound in reverse. I would disconnect the sound, but that's just too much work right now. So we'll run it in reverse, but I want to show you guys the speed on this so far, and we'll do the comparison test too. But so I'm in first gear, so it's got 2-speed transmission. So this is the transmission case that switches between high gear and low gear. Alright, so I'm not full speed, and we're in low gear. That looks like high speed, and with the old motor, now mind you, I'm running a 3S pack, so I already upped the voltage in it. So this is my high performance. The 2S pack is so very similar to what it originally was with the brushed motor and that gear reduction unit that there's not much difference. It might be a little bit faster, but if I throw a 3S battery pack in, which everything can handle that, then we're good to go. So now I'm going to switch it into high gear. I heard it pop into gear, so look at her go. Yeah. That's quick. So with 3S, I definitely have the performance boost that I wanted out of this, and I'm hoping I haven't lost my torque. Well, actually, I'm hoping I gained a little bit more torque with it. So anyway, with the 3S, I'm happy. Let me show you what it does with 2S here. Okay, so I put my 2S pack. This is what we've normally been running in it, which is probably what I'll still normally run in it, unless I want that extra speed. There's full speed in first gear. So it looks about like what it was before. And here's second gear. It might be just a hair bit faster than what it was. We'll do a speed comparison test to the 2S because it was running about the same as my loader. So we'll get them out and do a drag with them and kind of see what the performance difference is. But when I calculated it, this motor was right about the same as what the 45 turn was on 2S. And I was expecting to have my power boost by being able to go to 3S on it. 2, my lord, 3, my lord. Anyway, I was expecting to go to a 3S battery pack on this to be able to get the higher performance from that motor. That's the nice thing about the brushless motors, is you can get that performance boost with the increased voltage without burning them up. So it's not bad to still run on 2S, so I can go either 2 or 3S. I now have option to do that with this unit. So I'm looking forward to testing it out and seeing what she'll do on the steep 12.5% grade that we've got out there. All right, so just buttoning it up here. I put a strap here for the wiring. That should have this pretty well cleared up. So all the wiring looks good. We're out of the way. Suspension's not going to interfere. Drivetrain's not going to interfere. All right, so we'll put this guy back on. And let's see, 2 mil on that one. Stripped too. So that goes there. Have this guy right here between the box. And put our cones up here. Okay, so final step. Since I don't have everything works, we can go ahead and get this guy mounted. And we'll just mount him right there, just like so. All right. Easy on off. All right, and then put our bumper back up here for when I get my battery set in. And my 3S 4000 fits in there just fine. A 3S 5000 will not fit. It's too wide this way. So if you're gonna do a 3S pack in there, it's got to be narrower. So you know you're only losing 1,000 milliamps. I'm running 6500 2S in there, but that'll get me probably plenty of run time on this truck. I rarely have to change the battery out on this guy for no more than he runs. And I think that 4000 is the only 3S pack I have that'll fit in this truck. The rest of them are too big. So if I want an extra pack for it, I'm gonna have to get another pack. So, but I think we'll be able to manage with that one.